All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to CNA Weekend Recap. Back in the Geek Cave after a long hiatus. Justin, Josh, and Ken coming to you. And I would love to tell you that we have a show full of stuff to talk about, but that would be a lie. There is not a lot going on in the world of geekery. Some rumors, some stuff. So we're just going to kind of have a free-form discussion about what's coming up, what's going on, and we'll see where the night takes us. So first up, Ken, what were we going to talk about first? You told me not to make a list.
Okay, I think we got to talk about the newest Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania trailer.
Throw a brother under the bus, man.
That was an armadillo in the headlights.
I didn't know where to go.
Why are you calling on me? I'm not the smart student.
So yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is quickly approaching, and we got the most meaty trailer that we've gotten so far that really digs into the plot and the characters. And I think what I took out of it most is that we're going to have a deviation from the lighthearted, jovial kind of comedic take that Ant-Man has brought into the MCU. They were on that comedic side with the latter Thors and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that really kind of edging to the comedic side. It feels like Kang is going to pull us out of that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that probably has to do with his family is being threatened in this one, so the stakes for him have been risen drastically.
Well, that not to talk about the new Guardians trailer we got recently, but it was super dark and depressing looking too, like some tragedy looking shit happening. So, is this next phase going to be?
I think Phase 5 is going to be a very dark phase.
It looks that way.
Phase 5 is going to be an impending doom in every corner of the multiverse before we get some light and some, at the end of the tunnel. I really think we're going to feel the suffocation of the Kangs is what Phase 5 is going to be.
The Kangs.
Plural.
Hear what he said. Kangs.
I kind of
100%.
wanted to do a rim shot when you said impending doom.
If only. Pretty sure they're going to save Doom for like Phase 7.
Maybe, yeah.
But as long as they do it right, I'll forgive them.
But in this trailer, we get like old school classic Kang the Conqueror.
I mean, Jonathan Majors is having the year of his career. I mean, he is about to be huge. He just had that pilot film. He's about to be Kang's in many different movies. He's going to be. I think there's a chance that he will eclipse Thanos as the biggest bad we've ever seen in the MCU. His specter is looming large.
And Feige says you're not ready for this guy.
Yeah.
That's all he said about Kang. And Kang is capable of that.
And he's also the villain in the new Creed film. I mean, this dude's having a career, right?
Yeah, he is.
He has gotten jacked. I mean, he was never a small dude, but have you seen the new Creed trailer?
Yes,
he's
huge. He's
jacked.
He enjoyed the other Creed movies.
He towers over Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
in every way.
He makes him look like a small dude.
Yeah, it looks like a welterweight going up against a heavyweight. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So this guy has the physical stuff to be imposing. And I think he's growing as an actor in every role. I wasn't thrilled with his acting in Lovecraft, but I feel like he's getting better and better.
I think him in Loki really kind of, because it was a very different Kang than we were used to. It wasn't who we thought he was going to be. It was this kind of survivor, seemingly a little crazy.
Man. PlayStation just came on out of nowhere.
Okay.
The ghosts in this house.
Kang. We brought up Kang. He's like
he's trying to get out of the multiverse.
But for me, that Western on Netflix, the one he's in.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
god.
He like stole that movie. From
me.
He
did.
He's getting better and better. So I'm thrilled to see him pop up in all of the different movies we're going to see him pop up in. Yeah. There's some reason in this trailer to be afraid Scott Lang's going to die. And then Kevin Feige, whether, how Kevin Feige is, he's brilliant at this, could be complete misdirection, but he acted like he accidentally spilled that Scott was going to die in an interview recently, and it was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. You know, Kevin, that could have been 100% intentional to throw us off, or it could have been.
Well, another easy segue for another new young Avenger, Cassie Lang, who is also known as Stature in the comics.
Who apparently takes after her father and has done some time in jail.
No kidding.
Trailer. So the other big thing we have to talk about in this trailer is MODOK.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not familiar with the comic books, MODOK is an absurd-looking villain with tiny little legs, like he's a goddamn bobblehead come to life.
Let's see a T-Rex.
He's been a very dangerous villain in the Marvel Universe. He has presented a legit threat. And I cannot remember who the character's name in the comics. Help me out, comic book man.
The character's name.
MODOK's the person's name.
The real name?
Yeah.
I got it.
Can't think of it. Anyway, it's not going to be that backstory. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on this, but I think it's pretty cool what they're doing for the MCU. They're changing his backstory. He is going to be the villain from Ant-Man 1, Cross, or otherwise known as Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
And we see Corey Stoll's face stretched out to be looking like MODOK in one scene.
Stretch.
Most of the time he's
Just
in some
face
kind of
against
like,
the glass.
you know, metal suit looking thing. But there is this one moment we see him where he is literally a big ass Corey Stoll head.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Classically, Marvel likes to fool us a little bit.
Yeah.
But that is going to change as well because of the
lawsuit
in Hollywood that is that they can't fool you and give you false advertisement in a trailer, which is
And I
absolutely
tell you,
bullshit.
Marvel
Yeah,
has done that a lot. I mean,
they
the
have.
scene in Infinity War from the commercials
That's
where all the different Avengers are marching together
Yeah.
for it, and then you get to the movie and it's like, well, he's on another planet, he's on another planet.
All right.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of standard for movie trailers. I don't see how anybody can get upset about
Screw
that.
whoever spent the money on
Apparently,
the lawyer for that
they
lawsuit.
really wanted to see, who was it? Was it Ana de Armas?
Yeah, I think so.
And they
I don't
decided
even know what
she was
movie
supposed
it
to be in a movie and she wasn't in it, and they got mad.
Took it to the Supreme
Fucking
Court.
incels.
Which is ridiculous. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We're all looking forward to it, you know, and
So our next one, I guess, is a month away, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a month away. I think it's the 17th of February.
I think we'll, you know, learning about the quantum universe, I think is going to be very interesting. You know, what Michelle Pfeiffer's character did surviving down there and how she survived, because she seems to be the driving force of not wanting to go back.
She's very aware of Kang.
Yeah.
I think it's becoming clear that the He Who Remains put him there, and one of the reasons he keeps chopping off these timelines is he knew there was a timeline where Cassie was going to make this happen and free him, and without him in place, that timeline's allowed to grow and free Kang to wreak havoc on the multiverse.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because in the comic books, it's called the microverse.
Right.
And that's where they shrink down tiny microscopic. There's a whole other universe there.
They decided to tie it
we're
into
going
a
to
little
turn
more
this to the
reality.
quantum realm or the or maybe they're still calling it the microverse. We don't know. We just know they go into the quantum realm. They may end up there. We don't know. We don't know.
I think they've turned the microverse into the quantum realm simply because quantum mechanics and the theory of a quantum state is something that exists in actual scientific theory. So I think that's why they've decided to make it, just ground it a little bit.
But I mean, I'm just looking forward to it. Paul Rudd, you know, he's an immortal who will last long beyond us when we die.
He's in his 50s, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He looks
Wow.
better now than he did in his 20s. It's ridiculous.
He looks the same.
He
I watched
looks better.
Clueless the other day. I was like, man, that's Ant-Man.
That's what money does for you. Clean living, private chefs, eating good.
Tell that to Cher.
I mean, that dude had
If I could turn back time, if I could find no way.
Do y'all remember the outfit
Wow.
she wore in that video?
Oh yeah, leather jacket and a thong fishnet.
I mean, she kind of
Top.
looked like a dude, but that was a hell of an outfit.
She was on a naval boat surrounded by
It was on this
sailors.
fucking destroyer, son. She's
Yeah.
in front of guns. Get right.
She was riding a cannon at one point. She was Miley Cyrus before Miley was a wrecking ball.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So let's see if we can pull this show back a little bit. What are we going to talk about next, guys? That told me not to make a list, so I'm counting on you.
I didn't say anything about not making a
The
list.
Last of Us premieres tonight.
It does. That's the big thing for tonight.
Yeah, in like 10 minutes, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
If you've ever played the video game, then you know what true frustration is like. It is one of the hardest games I've ever played, but it's got a real killer story, and we'll see if America isn't too zombie saturated to care about this.
Well, I like the fact that it's a new take on zombies. You want to take that, Josh?
I mean, what are they? Clickers or what's the term?
They call them clickers, but they're
They call them
zombies.
Yeah, they are zombies, but this zombie population is basically a fungal infection that completely takes over their minds and drives them into madness. And there are honestly aspects of that exist in reality. There are funguses that infect ants and literally turn them into zombies, and their job is to climb as high as they can, jump off as their heads explode so the fungus can spread amongst other insects. And it's been documented well
Welcome
in
to
history.
Earth.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
like this is
wild. This planet. Oh, gosh.
it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, making fungusoid zombies is not really that far fetched.
Mm-hmm.
But
Turns into like pimple faces. They're just big balls of like pimples. It's disgusting.
these two have played the game. I haven't yet. And honestly, I'm not worried about spoilers because I'm gonna watch the show. I don't care. You know, you got Pedro Pascal, you've got Lady Mormont of Bear Island in it. I
It's
mean,
got,
it just looks great.
Fantastic reviews.
Yeah.
Y'all seen the reviews?
Oh yeah,
People are
they're
like,
Also, it has Ron Swanson in it.
oh, forgot about that. Yeah,
Who doesn't love Ron Swanson?
as like a lone survivalist in the wild, which is pretty much
He's Ron Swanson.
Yeah, he's Ron Swanson. That's just what he does. Nobody's gonna hate on that.
So I don't have a phone, so y'all gonna have to look at it. What are we talking about next?
Well, let's see what we got on the menu.
Ken, while we're looking, what are you into right now? You got anything you're doing?
man, I just finished the Willow show.
Okay. Were you a big fan of Willow back in the day when we were kids? Are you okay?
Yeah, I know. I just slipped.
Just verified.
He called it. He said
Yes,
he did
yes,
that.
I loved Willow. I love that version of Lucasfilm. I know it's not for everyone, but that kind of that post Star Wars world. We got a couple of Ewok movies, but Willow was for me. I think it's just this show was for me. It
Okay.
was because I enjoyed that movie. It was fantasy in the Lucas way. It was just something different. It was something special. So anyway, this is a great continuation of that movie. That movie is also on Disney Plus. So I highly recommend watching the original movie and immediately start watching the show. And it just, if you're a fan of Willow, you will enjoy the show. The problem with Willow is that it is eclipsed by these other incredible fantasy shows that we have right now, which Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. It's a fantasy knights in armor, dragon types, story. So it's not Game of Thrones. You cannot compare it to that because this is a different kind of.
I mean, coming off of
Everything.
Lord of the Rings show just a few months ago, the bar is set really high.
It is, and this. And I had a hard time with that at first because you can't compare these two because they are something so very, very different. Willow's got kind of a comedy. It's kind of cheeky. A lot of comedy in it.
Yeah. So I know something I want to talk about, and we hadn't really talked about this, so I'm going to be springing it on you. But oh boy, there's a director that's done something that's very popular on Netflix. I haven't watched it, so I'm not familiar with the director or the property on Netflix. But it's given him enough juice that Stephen King has signed over the rights to the Dark Tower series to him. Wait, what?
Huh?
This is late breaking news.
Yeah,
for
no,
Dark
I
Tower
haven't heard this
fans
at all.
at the
If I
table.
don't mind, look it up.
Okay.
Just a new Dark Tower series. He'll give you the name. It's apparently a horror series that's on Netflix that is giving him enough juice that Stephen King has signed over the rights to Dark Tower, and he is developing a Dark Tower series in the hopes that Amazon will pick it up.
This is not Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. That is
Okay.
his name. All right. Just recently, in the past week, it has come out that he is developing it. It was he might. Now it is.
And then he walked away from it.
He is back.
And he's back.
He is developing
Okay.
it, and he is hoping to shop it to Amazon.
Okay. I'm okay with this. I mean, Mike Flanagan, he did all the House on Haunted Hill stuff.
Did Midnight Mass.
Midnight
Midnight
Mass
Mass.
is the one that apparently gave him the
I
juice.
enjoyed Midnight Mass. I liked Midnight Mass a lot. I know it wasn't for everyone, but it's good because it was like wishy-washy. It was like Mike Flanagan's attached. He's shopping at Amazon. But see, Mike Flanagan just signed an exclusive deal with Amazon. And
Which is why he wants to shop it to Amazon.
which is he has to. Otherwise, Mike Flanagan can't do it
Yeah.
because he just signed an exclusive deal with it.
And given that Amazon just spent the most anyone's ever spent on a season of television with Lord of the Rings, you hope that they're not going to be scared away by the breadth of what this story
Yeah,
is.
Right.
If you're not familiar with the Dark Tower series, it is Stephen King's magnum opus.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 7-book epic series that
Never read
takes you
anything like
across
it.
universes and time, unlike any kind of multiversal story you've ever read or seen. It is
ties all of his books he's ever written into
Yes.
together.
it creates
If you
the
get
characters.
real in depth, every book King has ever written can be tied into the Dark Tower
Yeah.
series.
The GAN and there are theories that it is the same character that's presented in the Dark Tower as the Red King. I mean, there's so many theories out there from all these different just deep King heads, but it is these two guys got me to read the story
Finally.
in the last few years. I never even heard of it until I met them. It is unlike anything I've ever read.
Yeah, it's
It is
just
Stephen King quintessential.
yeah, and I
It's
agree.
better than Stephen King because I feel like he writes these cheeky horror movies, these horror stories.
Have you ever
This
read
is
it?
better. This is better.
There's
Is my
nothing
point.
cheeky about it.
No. My point is he writes these horror shock value stories, and it's like he wrote those to finance this one. And it's just I'm trying to articulate my point. It's like this is something different as opposed to.
He has a style of writing.
There's a stigma with Stephen King. People think Stephen King, you know what I mean? It's like, but Dark Tower is something different. It's something special.
I think the Dark Tower is greater than the sum of its parts. Is what it has become.
Maybe that's what I was trying
You
to
know,
say.
like
Yeah.
he wrote it when he was 20 years old, the very first book, and he continued with those until he had written The Wastelands, and then it was like 30 years before he picked it back up again, and it was in a completely different mindset, a completely different age, his age, and he picked it back up, and he has told people that he looks back at those writings when he was younger. And he realizes that, that was the words of a young man. I need to make it mine now. But he ties that into Roland, the journey of a young man, arrogant, assuming he knows the way,
Well,
and then experiencing loss and death and everything.
it's one of the first pop culture moments of meta, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Before we knew what meta was, his appearance as himself is meta before we
Something
knew
that
what
happened
meta
to
was.
him in real life.
Yeah.
They put in the book where he was hit by the van on the side of the road. And
There's actually a literary term for that, where the author puts himself into the book. I can't think of it right now, but there's a term for it.
And also, I want to say, if you're sitting here right now and you're thinking, these guys are giving a lot of credit to that horrible movie with Idris Elba
No.
and Matthew McConaughey.
thank you for saying that.
Just know that was not the Dark Tower.
No.
Not that to say they even tried to take all 7 books and cram it into one movie still doesn't
No.
justify how badly they got that movie.
That
wrong.
movie had nothing to do with it.
The only thing it had to do with it was there was a character named Roland Deschain and there was a character named the Man in Black, and they fought. That is the only thing that was reminiscent of the story.
I
that Stephen
remember
King
hearing that McConaughey was going to be Randall Flagg and that Idris Elba was going to be Roland. And I remember how excited I was.
I don't think they even refer to him as Randall Flagg in the movie.
No,
once.
I'm pretty sure they
He
are.
is the Man in Black. That is all they call him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no Eddie. There's no Susanna. There's nothing. There's no, what's the little dog? Oi?
Boy.
Oi.
Boy's my favorite character in the whole story. I love that little Bumble thing so much.
Beaver
You
or
love
something like
the
that.
Dog, raccoon, lemur.
Beaver, dog, creature. I can't describe the creature.
Look, he's awesome and he's important to the story.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ache.
Oh my God, such a good
If you
story.
understand what we're talking about, you're like, yes.
You should be
Everybody
friends
else,
with us.
everybody else is like, these guys have a mind.
Go read the books if you think we're out our
You really
minds.
should. If you've got months to dedicate to a story, get into this.
Yeah.
So that was a deviation. We didn't talk about that, but I'm really excited at the potential that we might get this.
Yeah, and he also did the Midnight Club, which I enjoyed. It was a Netflix one-season story, but they told their story.
Midnight Mass, right?
No. He
Oh,
did
is
another
something
one
else?
called the Midnight Club,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
was which
like
was-
teenagers in a. I saw some of those.
They were they were teenagers who had fatal diseases. Who they sent them this home to work together and try and work through the process.
Okay.
And part of what they did is each night they'd sneak out and go down to this library and they'd tell horror stories.
Okay.
And one of their things was one of the running gags. They like one of the characters wouldn't finish his story because he's like, you got to be alive next time to hear the end. And that was, it was this idea of teens who don't really know what's going on, who are so scared, banding together and finding fellowship through horror stories. And it was really
They all
good.
had terminal illnesses.
Yeah.
They're all.
Okay.
It's like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I watched it.
So y'all think he can do it? Y'all think he's got the chops?
I think, man. I think nobody knows what you're capable of until you're called to be capable of it. So it's. I don't know if that makes sense what I just said.
No.
But yes,
Until Zack Snyder came along, you used to say that The Watchmen was an unmakeable movie.
perfectly said. What he said.
I feel like this is an unmakeable opus.
Yes.
Until
I
somebody
totally
makes it.
agree. What he just said is what I was trying to articulate. So yeah. Right.
I think he has the sense of it. Whether he's gonna get the budget and understands what it is, nobody knows until it starts happening.
Mm-hmm.
He is apparently a fan of the books and has read them all multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
That gives me hope.
Yeah.
But sometimes true fans can get bogged down. Look at Henry Cavill.
Probably. You gotta love the source material without inserting agenda. Like your agenda, what you want to do versus what needs to be done. It's like and stars will align for the Dark Tower one day.
I hope so.
We will all be appeased one day. Hopefully, we'll still be alive.
Do you have anything else?
And so I said what I was into. What are you into?
There is not a lot new that I'm into. I tried to watch Kaleidoscope on Netflix and I hated it. I watched it all, but I hated it.
I didn't hate it, but it's
Heist movies need to end with somebody completing the goddamn heist.
Spoiler alert. Most everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Everybody
dies. I mean, there's no one to be happy for in the end. Goddamn billionaires get away with it.
Justin was raised in the Steven Spielberg world where he needs a good story.
If I want bad endings to stories, I'll watch the news. I want happiness in my movies. I want, despite it all, they get away with it. Not everyone gets shot in the head. Yeah, I didn't like it. I am currently rewatching the Star Wars universe with my girlfriend, and we are just about finished with Clone Wars. And I'm reminded how great Clone Wars is.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
I think Clone Wars was good.
Is so good.
Clone Wars was
some amazing storytelling. There are some filler episodes. There are some episodes where it's nothing but droids wandering on planets. Those are terrible.
Right.
But the overall Clone Wars 7 seasons is really good Star Wars.
Yes, sir.
And Ahsoka Tano is the most fleshed out character in the history of Star Wars. She's
Nice.
I love it. So
Filoni is the best thing to happen to Star
Filoni
Wars.
is.
As you ask me, I mean,
yeah. So it has me really excited for the Ahsoka show coming this year.
Mhm.
And that's the one with her and
It's essentially Rebels
Yeah.
season 5.
okay, that's what I was
Yes!
They're hunting for
That is
Ezra
best
Bridger.
case scenario.
It
I mean,
has-
that is.
Harris and Dula's coming back.
Uh-huh.
Sabine Wren is coming
Right.
back.
We got some casting news for that this week too.
Did we?
We did. I
I see
shared
that.
it in the nerd group, but I'm not going to look for it. But Hera has been cast.
Is it an actress we know?
Maybe.
You can't remember the name, but
No, but I remember that post.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead's playing Sabine Wren, right?
I'm
I
okay
like
with
that
that.
casting. Yeah.
I don't know if that
Yeah, I thought that was already announced.
Hera's casting was announced.
I thought Sabine was months ago.
We both can't scroll. You scroll and we'll keep talking.
Yeah, y'all keep talking. I'll try to hunt it down.
We have an Ezra casting. It's an actor that we're not familiar with, but he looks the part.
He looks just like Ezra.
They are going with the voice actor for Grand Admiral Thrawn to play the live action, which
Nice.
works for me.
Right. This is what happens when a fan is running the show. Filoni's running the show.
Yeah.
And he's taking care of us.
And he made Rebels too, so I mean,
He knows the characters.
having a Feige in Star Wars is so important, and that's why they need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and put him at the top with Happy
Favreau.
sitting right there next to him.
Favreau.
Yes,
They've earned it. They earned it with
They have
The
earned it.
Mandalorian alone.
and right under Favreau is Opie's daughter.
Brie. What's her name?
Opie's daughter.
Opie's daughter. She's gonna be Opie's daughter too. God damn it. She directed some.
It's not Bree Howard, but yes,
It's
it is
not.
Howard.
Maybe it's not even Brie.
It's actually, I think it's 3 names. It's
Bryce
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Boom. She directed
Oh,
some
his
of the
daughter.
best episodes of The Mandalorian. I
All
mean,
of them.
she
Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should give her a Star Wars movie of her own.
Google search at this point, dude.
Dude, I know. Look, I'm just looking, man.
Fucking pull up Google.
I don't know. I actually forgot what I'm looking for.
Hera casting in Star
Harris and Dula.
But anyway, Star Wars for me is what I always wanted from Star Wars right now.
Yeah. I'm almost to the point where I don't want them to ever make another Star Wars movie. It's told better episodically.
Yeah.
Okay, according to this, Mary Elizabeth Winstead was cast as Harrison Dalla.
Then I got that wrong. Which makes better sense. I didn't think she looked much like Sabine Wren.
Sabine is more like an Asian.
She does have an Asian look to her, so that's good. I like Mary
Winstead.
Elizabeth Winstead.
I do too.
Hera is a powerful character, and I think she can pull that off.
Yeah.
Bring it! I'm so ready for that.
Gosh, no shit.
I'm ready to watch Rebels again. Rebels to me is possibly peak Star Wars. I mean, the storytelling, the introduction of new characters that you care about so much.
Mm-hmm.
Kanan Jarrus is amazing. The arc he goes through in 4 seasons.
I mean, it opened
Gorgeous.
the world to so much more Star Wars.
We
We got Bad Batch. We got the Jedi Chronicles, whatever it's called that recently came out. What is it called?
the little one-off stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Ahsoka's Tales or whatever.
The Ahsoka was the stories of Ahsoka. The stories, the backstory for Dooku.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was cool. More
That was so
engaging
bad.
to me than the Ahsoka
So
story.
sad to see Yaddle go out that way.
Yes,
Really,
Yaddle
that was
went down like
sad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was sad, but it was good. It was just sad.
Speaking of which, there was a article recently. There is a deleted scene that hasn't been released, but apparently people that know have seen it from the episode 2 of Star Wars, where Dooku turned over and helped the Sand People capture his mother
Oh, shit.
on command from the Emperor to push the turning of Anakin Skywalker. Dooku was responsible for the death of Shmi Skywalker.
That's dark.
That would be good storytelling, though, if we
Yeah.
got that. Because I mean, they're filling in gaps right now.
They are.
So that's a good episode
Yeah.
if it exists
It
or it
needs to
comes
be
out.
made into one of those little one-offs.
Mhm.
No, who is playing Hera is an actress named Natasha Lou Bordizo.
You mean Sabine?
Sabine, yes, my bad.
So they did go that direction.
Mhm.
That makes sense. So far, the cast looks perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know how great Ahsoka turned out.
Mhm.
So I trust them. I trust them.
Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka getting her own series. Y'all, the Star Wars future is bright as hell right now.
If we could just forget that episodes 7, 8, and 9 ever happened,
I think
I'd
we
be so
are.
happy with. I don't think we are, and that's my problem.
I think we are.
No, I think that they're trying to fill in the gaps to make them better.
They're trying to make it work.
They're doing the same
Don't
thing
do that.
Clone Wars and Rebels did for the prequels
Uh-huh.
and made them relevant and made us care about them. That's what they're trying to do with The Mandalorian. We will eventually find out how they made Snoke, and I think it will be through the lens of either Ahsoka's tale or The Mandalorian.
Oh God, y'all, come on, man.
We'll
Ryan
backstory.
Johnson is gone. He is we don't have to talk about
Let's
it
not say
anymore.
anything bad about Ryan Johnson.
That's what I was fixing. You jumped on my segue. I was going to talk about. He's like doing these murder mystery Knives Out movies, and that is his shtick. He needs to stick there.
First of all, Ryan Johnson made the best of the three. The Last Jedi is the best of those three movies. And I will die on that hill.
You die right over there because. Please, Space Horses, man.
No, that's the third one.
That's
That's
the
not
third
Ryan
one?
Johnson. Ryan Johnson is the most perfect Luke Skywalker finishing arc. The portraying as a space ghost and fighting or an apparition and fighting Kylo Ren at the end while the future of the Jedi escaped out the back. It was the most Luke Skywalker way to do that, because if you go back and watch it, Luke Skywalker abhorred violence, and if he could have a peaceful solution, he was going to pursue it. That was Luke Skywalker. He pled Jabba not to fight him. He pled his father not to fight him. He did not want the fight. So for him to go out, saving the day and never clashing sabers with Kylo Ren, that is so Luke Skywalker.
I feel like he's been waiting for this moment.
He's jumping on it.
He just has been holding this in.
That's
for a
fine.
minute. This is the talk for another day.
That's what we all do. We have those moments where it's like, all right, let's go. I got this. I've been arguing in my head with myself for the last year.
I have defended Ryan Johnson. Please defend J.J. Abrams and the horses in space.
Are you asking me to?
Yes.
Because I fucking won't.
Well, then why would you argue that Rain isn't the best?
Because
of the
I
three?
didn't like that movie. I thought it was fucking stupid.
But you think it's worse than JJ's entries?
I did not say that. I did not.
I'm just here
I
for
think
ice cream after.
all three of those movies are garbage to me. They are fucking terrible. I hate them. I wish they
I
never
agree with the other two, but I felt The Last Jedi was an incredible film, minus 15 minutes in the casino. If you take those 15 minutes in the casino out of The Last Jedi, it is a wonderful film.
Oh, okay. We've gone off the rails. This is not about...
And then Ryan Johnson also has cemented himself with The Glass Onion and Knives Out, and he has a new TV show coming out on Peacock.
I cannot wait
with
for that
Natasha
show.
Lyonne.
Yes. Oh, I'm so
I think that's his niche. I think he found his niche and he's just stayed there.
Unless Star Wars wants to bring him back, in which case they should.
Do not. No.
I have no strong feelings about it.
This is why we
like it.
This is why we make it good, because we're not all agreeable. We're not all yes men here. We don't like the same shit every time. So
Not at all.
you know, whatever. I mean, we have different opinions. It's fine.
I can't wait for that show though.
I
It's
can't
like
either.
Lucky
I think
Poker Face.
Yes.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
She apparently has this uncanny ability to tell when someone's lying.
Yeah, and she rolls into town.
She's like a gypsy, a transient.
Yeah. And they're like, why don't you win a ton of money? It's like, I can only tell when people lie. I'm not good at poker or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like Natasha Lyonne.
Oh, man. Russian Doll is one of the best shows
She's
I've
sticking
seen.
with this kind of whodunit kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm
I
fine
think
with
it's
that.
That's his shtick.
Yeah.
He's found his moment. I
Yeah.
think.
Glass Onion. I know I'm going back a few weeks, but Glass Onion was so good.
Oh, dude,
So
it
good.
really was.
I enjoyed the hell out of it.
And you know what? He took a cast of people who I don't consider good actors. Goldie Hawn's daughter sucks.
Kate Hudson.
But the guy from
Drax
Hamilton,
sucks.
The guy from Hamilton, though.
Yeah,
From Hamilton.
Leslie Odom Jr.
Yes.
Good actor.
Mhm.
Obviously, Daniel Craig is a good actor. I like her in the right role. Catherine Hahn,
Uh-huh.
but that wasn't it.
Mm.
He made a good movie despite a lot of really bad acting performances. You go back and watch that. Kate Hudson's role is terrible. She is not a believable character, and she delivers. There are times when she screams, and it's some of the worst scream queen stuff I've ever seen on screen. It's like someone said, "Scream," and she went, "Ah!" It's terrible. But the movie's so good.
It is. It is 100% really good. And Norton's wonderful in it.
Janelle Monáe stole the movie.
She did.
Playing two different roles, the Alabama accent to the bitch boss accent. Every time she was on screen, I was transfixed.
And she held up against really good actors.
Right there with Daniel Craig, who
Mhm.
is a good actor.
Yeah, she was never overshadowed. You know, she was.
It was
right
really
there
good
with
to see
them.
old Junior in a movie again.
Yeah.
He gets it. Ed Norton. It was really good to see Ed Norton in a movie again. Who's Edward Norton Jr.? If you remember that, then you also lived in a different universe as a child.
Yeah,
So when they
man,
turn-
some context, I'm just saying.
Don't worry
Everybody's
about
like, what the fuck are they talking about?
There's going to be someone in the comment that was like, he was Ed Norton Jr.
They turn the CERN on every couple of years, and things get
I
real
bled
weird.
over, apparently.
Yeah. So
This has been a fun show.
I think we're good. Show.
We're having more fun than Ken.
I need another drink, that's all.
fair.
All
But
right.
yeah.
Anything else you saw in the little list there, little newcomer?
No, that's pretty much everything. I would
Okay.
say.
The big thing to look forward to is Ant-Man Quantum Mania.
Yeah. And if you have already tuned out to watch The Last of Us, we forgive you. We understand.
We're gonna watch it
We're
soon.
going to go right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Do something geeky and come, as always, and talk to us about it at CNA.
Come see us at Pensacon.
Pensacon, I think. We got some new costumes. Yes, we are at Pensacon.
Okay.
Come see us at Pensacon.